All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got Clem in the bottom right side of the KSL 55 Grand Finals, playing for Team Liquid in Korea right now, preparing for the World Championship. He's up against Talon Esports Dark. A big test for him because Dark is a cheesy boy, an aggressive boy, and someone who historically got under his skin. On the other hand, Dark kind of sucks against Clem recently. And the reason is Dark's openings usually aren't clean enough. Clem is just so incredibly clean in his early game. It is refined to a certain level. The Europeans love perfecting these. So really it's on Dark to surprise him, catch him off guard, throw him off balance, make Clem play safer builds, suboptimal builds, or simply panic a little bit, because getting to the mid game and getting through that mid game to the late game for Dark is impossible in a normal straight up macro game against Clem. It just does not work. It's like a 1 in 7 success rate for Dark at best, which is of course very bad when you're talking about the reigning GSL champ Dark and Clem, a player who is very good in Europe, and he's very good at this matchup specifically, but definitely something where you're going to have to respect that and be very worried about what Clem can bring your way. Now, for those who don't know, the World Championship's going to be 3.5 weeks out. It's 14th of August, I believe, is when that starts. 21st of July is the date right now when I'm casting, at least in Australia. And 20th if you're in North America or Europe. And Clem is in Korea for a very clear reason. He's really weak against Korean players, especially their Protoss and Terran. And I think he figures if he can go to Korea, maybe he can get some custom games, but more importantly, just playing the ladder, he might run into the Marus of this world, the Beyonds of this world. He can play all of their online tournaments as well. He can get practice against Dark repeatedly. And I think that's probably better than European practice for him, because outside of Serral, I think Clem is favored versus everyone else in Europe. Every other player in Europe. He's been beating MaxPax more often than he loses to him, even though MaxPax kicks his butt sometimes. You know, they have good back and forth series. Oh, he stops it. He stops it. So here's the thing, guys. You cannot build an extractor or any gas building if there's a unit standing next to it. But Dark's going to go across with his 4 Zerglings. Reaper going to come in on that natural side. 2 Lings, all that's left to defend. But the Queen will pop out in a moment. The Reaper's already wasted a bit of time. And he's only got 1 Marine at home. You can see there's a reactor in the production tab. A lot of players, when they do what Clem's done, they'll build 2 Marines. Like, Cure always builds 2 Marines. Not Clem. He's only got 1, which means he's got to pull this SCV. But actually, it's so late. The SCV's already finished building the command center. Oh, this guy's in trouble, though. Clem going to send that SCV towards the Reaper. Raises that one. The SCV up above the natural in the top right of our screen was hiding. How good's his micro? How good's his micro? Oh, he bounces them. He bounces the Lings. But wait, these 2 are going to come in. Dark's going to go for it. Of course he is. He manages to get himself an SCV. Fun little micro dance to start off this game. And these sort of little maneuvers are what you kind of need to force as Dark. But Dark is definitely a little slow on getting out the next round of drones. So I think he was supply blocked on 36 for a little bit there. But as these extra drones come out, he should be okay. Going up to 4 Queens very early is Dark. That's a super early 4th Queen that he's building. So he's going to have plenty of Queens ready to defend the Hellions. And of course, behind this is not a 3rd command center. You might be wondering, why is that, guys? Well, if you look at Dark's play recently, he's been spamming Ravager Ling all-ins. And on this map especially, I'm pretty sure he did a Ravager Ling all-in to Maru on this map in the Grand Finals. And I think Clem's saying, I want to have really quick Banshees, because otherwise I might just die to some surprise Roach Ravager Ling all-in. I want to play safe. And this already means, because of Dark's reputation right now as a guy who is all-inning Terran a lot, Clem's already not going for that famous 3 command center build that usually puts him in an unstoppable position. So already I feel like this is a more playable position for Dark than the normal sort of setup that he has. Should be building a command center on that natural wall off and then sealing the deal with maybe 1 more depot in the next few seconds. It's about 420. It's kind of late for that command center, but we'll see how it goes, as he's been pretty non-stop with his Hellions. Second Banshee is supply blocked there for just a second before that depot finishes and the command center goes down at 430. Reaper Hellion getting some little bits of damage on the Queens, trying to use that range as best he can. Now, Dark's only on 37 workers at 4.5 minutes, guys. I've got to be critical. He's got a great Queen count, but his worker production has been abysmal. It's almost 5 minutes, and he's got very little mining on his 3rd. I mean, this actually, the only advantage of this is that if Clem went a bit deeper there, he would have seen so few drones, and he would have assumed it was an all-in, even though it wasn't. Ling counterattack. If he can kill the command center, this might be worth. Hellions are occupied on the other side of the map. Can he get the command center? Can he get the command center? It's a lot of surface area. Oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. Banshee comes in, gets 2 drones. Oh, the Queens are going after him. Meanwhile, that's a dead command center. He has to cancel it. He's going to get inside the base as well. The Hellions are going in. Clem, the mad dog, any sane Terran would go and defend in this scenario. The Lings are inside. He goes aggressive because he's Clem, and he says, I'm going to fight you with my own aggression, and Dark just taps out. What the hell? Well, let's break that down, because I know I'm not the best observer in the world, guys, but I can't look at everything at once. Okay, so he's running his drones away. He's got no extra lings at home. So basically, Dark was gambling on the fact that that Clem was going to go home, and he was going to go home to defend this with his Hellions, because he had nothing at home and he sent all of his queens. And this is a bad habit Dark has. We've talked about this before. All of the top Zergs since 2021, when Raynor won his world championship, we all learned from Raynor that you need to split your queens into 2 defensive groups. And that way one can chase Banshees or battle cruisers and the other can stay on the front to defend the Hellions. Dark has never made this adjustment in the last 3 years. When every other Zerg it's become standard, Dark still puts all of his queens on a single control group, usually including his injecting queens. And if you attack him with something, he will pull every single queen, injecting queen, everything to one spot. So even if he gambled on the Zerglings, it didn't have Zerglings, he still should have had 3 queens over here, kind of pushing the Hellions back, and then just 3 queens over here. You don't need, 8 queens defending a single Banshee. That's a big mistake for him, but it's something that's built into his play and baked into his play. Dark just never made this adjustment that every other Zerg has. And because of that, Clem's like, well, you don't have anything here, I might run in. Whereas if he's got queens hitting him, it might instinctively force him to go, I'm just going to run home. So that's one problem. Other problem, this Marine does kill a couple of these Zerglings, but the Banshee is going to put an end to it. Yeah, you're going to kill a few SCVs, but these Lings, there's not enough to really do any more damage, right? So you've only got 10 Lings, you're going to kill maybe 5 SCVs at best, and Dark says, crap, because he's only got a few Lings and Queens popping out, and he feels like he's going to lose too many drones and not really find himself ahead. I think this is a massively early leave. I think, did Dark screw up? Yeah, pretty badly. But I don't think it's game over yet. And I think this was not the best lost timing, in my opinion. This is kind of frustrating. Because you did kill the 3rd command center. He's only on 2. I mean, yes, he started a 3rd command center in the main, but a little sloppy with his queen movement. I mean, it's a crazy way for things to start. I like that Dark's very counterattack focused. That's how you're meant to play against Clem. But Clem going for the very fast starport and 2 Banshees, he had extra insurance against exactly this sort of play. Not to mention the early full wall off slowed those Zerglings down from getting any really big damage. Canceling the command center is big, killing the SCVs is much bigger. GG, well played. Clem takes game 1. All right, nice game 1 there for Clem here. And dude, he's on that clan 430 MS. I guess this is just what he named his account. Probably playing a Korean tournament from Europe one time is a bit of a joke. But playing in Korea, he's going to be playing with very low latency. This is actually a cool thing for Clem, because Clem normally plays in Europe. And even if you're in France or something like that. Actually, I guess France or Germany is probably the best. I don't know how much ping they normally play with. Probably like 20. But if you're in Korea, the server is in Seoul. Everything's on fiber optic cable. I remember when I was in Korea, if it was a laggy day, you'd have like 6 MS delay. It was so instantaneous. I remember first time I went to Korea in 2012, stayed over there in the Prime House for about a month and a half. For the first time, I kind of realized just how much more you can micro when you're not Australian, and how beautiful it is playing in Korea. And I don't think Clem probably notices too much of a difference, but I do wonder if there's like just that tiny little, the 10 extra milliseconds or whatever actually makes a difference for him. Now, nice move there, guys. The drone was trying to kill the SCV, but he manages to kill the drone yet again. And Dark is kind of struggling here, man. Lings do come forward, has to do an extractor trick. I feel like Dark should be sneaking Lings out as quickly as possible, because the Reaper went to the natural, bullied the Lings back, then comes back to the 3rd. He makes it hard for him to do that. Now, Clem is going to go once again quick starport. This is the I know you're a crazy guy, and I'm just going to play exceptionally safe this series. This also allows him to put on more aggression. Now, what we want to see from Dark is Overlords on time, drones on time. He does not need a 4th queen as early as he built it last game. We also need to see him split up queens if Clem goes for the same sort of Banshees on one side, Hellions on the other side attack. So these are the little adjustments we'll be studying Dark's play for and kind of rating him on, seeing how well he does, because if you don't fix those basics against a guy like Clem, things do get kind of nasty. Now, Clem should know the Lings are on the map, because why weren't the Lings defending his base? Also, floats the barracks down, gets the Overlord kill. Interesting. Shouldn't really be moving Hellions out right now. That's super dangerous, because you know there are Lings on your side of the map. Clem, that was really lazy. He should have been paying attention to his scouting. Loses a Marine, loses an SCV. If he loses another SCV, this is really good for Dark. As it is, pulling the Hellions back. Oh, And actually, yeah, now he has to stop to repair this Hellion as well. If he wants to. Okay, he's just going to leave it as a defensive Hellion now. But yeah, Dark's just going to keep doing this all game. He's just going to keep doing Ling Run buys because he knows if he lets Clem be aggressive, it's a problem. Now, that being said, this is not a 3 command center build. This is going to be a Liberator opening. Clem, very annoying with the Liberator. Looks like we kind of overbuilt. Yeah, Dark has overbuilt Overlords here to avoid future supply blocks, but it does also mean his work account's once again very slow to build. His natural's finally fully saturated. He's back on gas in the main, though he's slightly under saturation there, and he really needs to get damage done with these Zerglings, because as good as it is to be annoying against Clem, Clem is not playing the greedy styles, and I don't know if Dark's even fully clued onto this fact. Because the way he's playing is more to take advantage of a guy whose 3rd command center was building up in the main base much earlier in this game. And he should know from the depot timings on the natural that this is not a 3rd command center build. It is a 2 command center. Because those depots started building at about 3:30 this game, whereas otherwise they'd be building closer to 4 minutes. Queens are up front. And are we seeing a good queen split is the other question we had. He's got queens on the right and queens on the left. So yeah, nice queen split this time. Big adjustment from game 1. Got him in big trouble not having the queen split. This time he fixes it up. Liberator did take a bit of damage up there. Does pull away. No kills on it just yet. Hellion still looking for openings. Finding creep here and there. Not worth a scan just yet. There are 14 Zerglings ready to trap him if he runs by. Okay, so Dark's done a bit better on the work account now. I like that he's sending a drone out to his 4th base. He's got 22 workers on the 3rd, taking gases there. Fully mining natural. The main base does need more workers as he drops double Evo chamber before Lair or Baneling Nest. Not that early on the double Evo, though. I think it's fine because the 3rd command center is quite late for Clem. But it is going to be something where normally you'd expect if you go double Evo, before anything else, if you've got a really optimal clean opening, usually about 5:15, right? Sometimes 5:20. It's not bad by any means. It's just one of these things. We want to keep an eye on how clean Dark does these next few steps. 1-1 upgrade start pre 6 minutes, which means he's going to have about a, I don't know, 35-second upgraded. 30 seconds behind on the upgrades. That's not bad. So 30-second upgrade advantage for Clem. That's very doable for Zerg. Macro Hatchery comes in as well. Lair's going to start up. And as he goes into these gases, if Dark can get that 4th droned up pretty early, the question we have to ask is, did Clem do enough damage? At the end of the day, he really hasn't done much direct damage. He slowed down Dark a little, but he hasn't done a lot of direct damage. And yeah, he needs damage with this. Okay, so he's going to go for a quick Marine tank push, and this is going to be potentially game deciding. Because if this gets crushed by Dark, it's great, and Dark is massing Lings off just 63 drones. If Clem puts the tanks behind the minerals, this might work, but if he's just in the open, I think he can get jumped on by the numbers, because 1-1 and shields aren't here. So I think this is perfect time to just swamp it. Just go with the queens first, tank the siege tank shots, and just YOLO with the Zerglings. Hellions are in the back guarding, but he can't morph those into Hellbats just yet. Marines are coming in. Here we go. 1 queen goes down. Good pullback for Clem. He's got to be real careful too. Does he not have a scan? I think he forgot to save energy for scan. He really should have cleared this creep by now. He hasn't been able to do it. Queen's coming forward. Here come those Zerglings. The scan goes down a little bit too late. The surround is brutal. And look at that. The tanks, their Hellions, almost all disappearing very quickly. Saves a few Hellions to that right side. But Dark with a fantastic engagement. Now, oh my lord, I was going to say, this is where you hold the drone key down. Guys, Dark is still building Zerglings. My boy's going all in right now. He needs the Baneling speed desperately. He starts a Hydroden. Baneling speed goes down. Okay, so Dark's going... And now he builds 8 more drones. Okay, a little slow on that. All right, I was going to say, if he just commits to a 63 drone all in, that's not a bad play, because Clem's going to keep dropping you, and that would give you enough army to bust him while he's dropping you, basically. Leave just enough Lings to defend the drop, and just overwhelm, because he's going to be very exposed. He's got so few units at home. That being said, Clem's aware of the danger. He's got a tank behind his natural, Liberator on his 3rd, really defensive positioning for him, and he's just trying to harass Dark as much as he can. Now, Dark's sitting at 76 workers. That is the kind of max economy Dark ever really goes for in this matchup. This is not a good drop for Clem, I don't think, with the Lings on top. Oh, not too bad, actually. 2-2 upgrades coming in. Okay, so 2-2 upgrades, very similarly timed for both sides. Dark's adding the Hydra upgrades. He's already queued up both of those. He's also still only on 5 gases. I would love to see him take this rich gas, just because the double mining is worth so much on that one. And if you're expanding up in that straight line along the top of the map, it's a really good move. Marines drop. They get, like, you know, a couple of units, nothing too big. The rest of the Marines and tanks come down, though. These slow Banelings are exposed. Oh, Clem! He was so focused on making sure the Banelings didn't get away that he stutter stepped towards them. Dark turned around and actually took out 5 Marines with those 2 Banelings. It's not the biggest deal, but it's just a funny little interaction where Clem was playing so aggressive. Actually gives some value to Dark. Here come the Speedbanes. Here come the Speedbanes. Pretty good Widowmine shot to start, but that worker line is in jeopardy. Yes, the purple gas base is going down, and Banelings going after the SCVs as well as the Marines. Good spready on the SCVs. A lot of people would have lost a whole mineral line there. Clem just looks fine. He looks completely fine. Yes, the Lings take out the Widowmine in those last Marines, but that's okay. Push is going to continue over here. Tanks over on that side are so hard to deal with. We've got Widowmines coming in. I'd love to see a mixture of tanks and mines all game long. Marines shove on top of the Hydras. Bit of a crazy move there. Does get punished a little bit by losing quite a lot of those Marines. But remember, it is just 1-1 versus 1-1 upgrades. Hydras and Queens do take out the Siege tank right now, and Dark claims control of his 4 bases. So it's 4 base up against a Terran that's just now securing a 4th. I'd say this is pretty good for Terran right now overall, but it's not like he's got the, 5th command center, 6th command center, all that late game stuff. So Dark's at least keeping it in a scrappy game. It's just one of those things where, remember, Dark doesn't have a 90 drone economy. He can't really afford to trade like this long term. So his next trade, if it's not better than what he's been doing so far, he's just going to fall too far behind and probably lose this game. This next fight is crucial. Dark needs to find an opening. And right now, Clem's making that very, very difficult. This is an awkward situation for both sides, or I should say a fragile situation. 1 medevac goes down, but a few Zerglings die as well. I think if you can control the tower as Clem, you make it very difficult for Dark to get much done. Notice how there's no tanks building, guys. The factory inside the main base has been idling. I think that's something you could potentially squeeze a few more tanks, but he's swapping a full Biomine Ghost. And this is a style which Clem loves playing. He's been playing it for a few years. If he gets out of position once, he loses in a spectacularly bad way, and it looks terrible. Every time I've asked Clem, dude, why not just mix more tanks in with this style to make it more safe and solid? And he's basically said, look, you give up aggressive power. Anytime you play tanks, you slow down the pace and your ability to pressure the Zerg. And yeah, I know it's more dangerous. If I get out of position and make a big mistake, I will lose with this style. And he said, that's a risk I'm willing to take. I remember the first time he said that, I was like, can you just build more tanks though, please? And he's like, no, man. He's like, no. Like, this is how I win. This is what makes this style scary, is I don't invest in tanks. I don't slow down my pace, and I match the Zerg mobility for mobility, and I fight for map control every single inch of the way. It's a very Terran Zerg style of playing. It really fits Clem's playstyle because he's so fast and mechanical. Here comes the Lingbane Hydra rolling on top. He's trying to pull back. He's bringing in more bio from the right. Beautiful flank of his own bio. And he does get rid of quite a few of those units on the retreat. Dark's going to bring his own flank in from the right as well, though. And he does get pushed back. Units lost tabs looking terrible for Dark. He's down 3.5 to 4,000 resources in the units lost. A lot of Marauders up front, but Clem is going a little deep on creep. The Widowmines, got to be careful with the friendly fire potential there, but the Marauders tanking the front line, doing very well. Liberators are here as well. 3-3 upgrades are on the way. We've got so much going on. Ooh. Oh, my lord. He's going to pick up and get out. Okay, Clem does get pushed back, but Dark doesn't have much income. He's got the 5th base on the gold, 6th base behind it. Still only on 78 workers, though. Dark just doesn't have the money to keep up these trades. Like, he needs to find better value in these next few engagements, because Clem has a 5th base up and 3 more command centers to boot. He's getting up a planetary on the 5th and 3 more command centers that are about to turn into orbitals. So Clem's setting up for late game. Dark is not. Dark is adding Infestor and Lurk Attack, which is actually pretty fantastic for dealing with ghosts, right? A good fungal can always get you back in the game, but he's doing it off a very small economy. So Dark's economic situation is bleak. His tech situation's kind of okay, but Clem has got the economy and the tech, and unless Dark can get a massive fight, Clem looks like he's overwhelming. That being said, nice break here for Dark. Actually, really good engagement for him. Clears Clem back, but never removing him from the watchtower is the problem. If you can't push him off this watchtower, Clem is just going to keep you at arm's length, trading with a superior range of snipes, the Widowmine splash damage, and now 4,500 resources in the units lost. It's slowly growing in favor of Clem when Clem already has more economy this entire time. Fungals are landing here. Oh, that Widowmine friendly fire might actually have been the best splash damage that Dark's had so far, but look, the Widowmine's punishing him. Where's his overseers? He didn't build overseers this whole time. He's been walking through these Widowmines. They've all fired 3 or 4 times at this point. Look at the kill count, guys. We got 5 kills, 6 kills, 9 kills, 14 kills. These 2 in the back are only 0. Those are a couple of freshies, couple of noobs. But yeah, 8 barracks pumping, 2 factories, 1 starport. Those 3 orbitals I was talking about are making the 5th base is fully saturated. Clem is simply beating Dark in a very standard straight-up situation, and this is where things are scary for Dark. Anytime you're in a front-on war with Clem, Clem is better than any Terran you're used to playing. He is faster at this stage than Maru or anybody else in the world, and this is a hard spot to be playing against Maru. Oh my lord, there we go! Dark with the fungal kills all the medevacs! Top left, Widowmine drop only gets 4 drones. Oh my lord, dude, that was such a big fungal catch, killing all those medevacs. Clem never goes back to repair his medevacs. It's one of those things, because he doesn't like giving up momentum, he does let those medevacs slowly get wounded and taken down, and that can be a big issue for him. More Banelings morphing on the front line, though. This is what I call the Dark YOLO. Dark, whenever he wins a fight in Zerg vs Terran, he almost always just randomly makes Banelings outside his opponent's base, and it never works. Not against the top Terrans. It's a bit of a YOLO move. I understand he thought, oh, I've got an opening, I've got to push now. But it's a problem. You can't just be making Banelings outside your opponent's base. He just lost all of his Infestors that were his big value unit. They were the unit getting him back into this game. Losing those Infestors on the retreat is a huge mistake for Dark. Something he cannot afford. He's only on 75 workers against an 85 worker Terran. Not only that, the 85 worker Terran is up to 6 orbitals. The income is off the charts. Clem has more money, more army. He's adding better upgrades because it's only 223 for Zerg with nothing else on the way, whereas ship plating, building armor, high-sec auto-tracking will all be coming in for Clem. Clem's still counterattacking the top left as well. And past the current base count, okay, this is the play. This is the play, guys. Mass Lurker run by coming down the bottom. That is 9 Lurkers, 9 or 10 Lurkers in the bottom side. It's 10, in fact. 10 Lurker run by could be good. Lings are trying to set off the Widowmines. Clem unburrows and reburrows, but his bottom right side is exposed. 2 command centers in the open. These Lurkers are going to go for it. And Clem, remember what I said, if you lose map control, because you're not playing siege tanks and stuff, you don't have as much ability to deal with this. He's only got 4 ghosts. It's mostly a Marine Marauder Mine army. He's been playing the tempo game against the Ling Bane. He does not have an answer to the Lurkers, but the Lurkers don't have any support, and they were mostly shooting the planetaries, so he jumps on top. He is able to clear it because those first volleys were going in the wrong direction. Dark's going to try and take advantage. He says, look, there's an opening. Any hole's a goal right now. Get on in, but the Banelings unable to connect. Lings are in the main and the natural, but remember, Dark's doing this with nothing behind it. He needs more than a little damage right now. Man needs to throw up more damage than ever. He just threw up a Nidus Worm next to his Nidus Worm. If that is not a panicky misclick, then I don't know what one is. That 100% was a mistake there for Dark. Clem's going to hear a Nidus screech and go, oh god, where is it? And not realize Dark just misclicked it in his own base. If that was going up in the back, that would at least be one more thing for Clem to worry about. Widowmine not going to quite fire there. Unfortunately, it's on the low ground, so it doesn't get vision of those units early enough. Oh, nice drop in the top left going to come in. Does lose the medevac, though. But he's going to get a Queen Hydra, a bunch of drones. Super worth there for Clem, who's already still up about 8 workers in this scenario. He's taking a 6th base on the gold base. Didn't lose any real serious level of economy. You can see it in the workers killed. He's lost 23 SCVs. But actually, he's only killed 15 drones. He hasn't really been getting into Dark's economy. It's because he's been trading army versus army incredibly well. 9,000 resource loss difference now. Dark still in the 70s on the drones. And he needs a big surprise. He needs a big, ha-ha maneuver. It just hasn't landed yet, and he never replaced the Infestors. The Infestors, the one really good fight that Dark got this game was off the back of Fungal. He lost those Infestors, didn't burrow them, didn't put them in a good position. I know he doesn't have burrow upgraded, and I feel like going to Vipers now doesn't solve any of the issues you have. Bio Ghost is, yeah, you could parasitic bomb the medevacs. Fungal, though, traps the Marines, traps the Marauders, stops the Ghost from sniping because it does damage every second. It allows your Banelings to connect. 9 more Lurkers are morphing. There's always a chance to come back. I feel like the old Clem would always lose from this scenario, even when he's ahead against Dark. The new Clem very rarely does, but it's Dark. If anyone can make a comeback versus Clem from here, it's got to be Dark. Dark will never give up, never surrender, and as bleak as things look, Dark is the guy who will be in the most impossible situation where he's literally a peasant from Monty Python and the Holy Grail just shoveling mud with his bare hands, and you're like, well, what is the point in this? And he's like, yeah, well, I know, I mean, I got like a 0% chance of winning, right? But imagine if I win from a 0%. Oh, your army's on the right side? Up the guts, let's go, shoves through the middle. Dark, going for high risk, high reward StarCraft because it's what he has to do right now. He's behind, he's down, but he's not out. He's gonna go for the middle, goes for the parasitic bomb on the medevac. Lovely pullbacks. Lovely pullbacks here for Clem. Ghosts are getting caught out on that right side. Ghosts do get surrounded. A bunch of Ghosts going down to the Mass Zerg. The Planetary does help out, though. High-sec auto-tracking never got made, but still, even the 6-range Planetary is huge. And you can just see the way Clem pulls out in this beautiful arc to defend the Ling Bane. and it was a beautiful defense of the Ling Bane, but it allows the Nidus Worm into the main, and Clem's still trying to micro in 3 different places. The Banelings are here in the main base. All of those ghosts just got shredded, going up the ramp into the Lurkers. Dark, he's desperate, but my god, is he making it hard for Clem to hang on, and Clem is going to lose a lot of the production in his main. He has to use Liberators to deal with this. Dark, unfortunately, has no money behind it. He's so dry right now. His gold base went down. His income is just so low at just 2,000 minerals a minute. He's going to throw another Nidus Worm. He's moving a Queen forward because he's like, yeah, quick, bring whatever we can. Emergency anti-air units. He's got 3 Queens to try and deal with the Liv. I mean, this is Dark trying to use every single tool at his disposal and trying desperately to get back. And he's transfusing the Lurkers as they get sniped. I think he's got to get out now, though. I think, Dark, we have to leave. It's just he's like, I'm so all in. I have to get more damage. I have to get more damage. It's now or never. I'm broke behind this. Yeah, he does decide to finally run away, but it's a little too late. He's already lost the Lurkers. Lings did just kill an orbital out front, which is great. But Clem's still mining from 3 fully mining bases. 62 workers for Clem. Lots of orbitals up. He's still got, how many of those is it? Looks like 4, so he lost 2 orbitals during these battles. Dark, on the other hand, outlook is bleak. You know, he shakes his little ball, and it just says, outlook is bleak, economy, very low chance of resurrection in this game. Overseer does take a hit. Zerglings should be able to kill that, assuming the Overseer stays nearby, which it doesn't, and unfortunately that Widowmine will fire again. New hatchery, going on the purple gas. The only fresh base here for Dark is this one. The gold base is now back up, so his economy is going to pop back up a little bit. Dark is, as always, going to be able to survive longer than he really has any business still being in this game. I feel like he should have been dead about 5 minutes ago, but Dark's ability to fight from behind, second to none. As always, we've got to ask ourselves, if we could form mythical fighters, like if we could... Can you guys imagine if we put Clem's aggression and Maru's defense together into some sort of hybrid pro gamer? Literally, like, Cyril would not stand a chance. I don't think Cyril would have any chance against it. Same thing, if we could take Dark's ability to make comebacks and clutch plays from behind, combined with Cyril's openings, and Cyril, like if Cyril could just play the first 8 minutes of every game, then you give Dark control. I don't think Sirark or Darkle, whatever we want to call the Dark Cyril hybrid, I don't think that guy would ever lose a tournament. That guy would have won the last 10 world championships in a row. Like, it would be insane. Dark's ability to make these plays from such bad spots, it never fails to amaze me. I like this. Gets in, gets out with the Nidus. I mean, at this point, Clem's production has migrated. He's only got a few barracks and starports left in his main. He's kind of, you know, repairing it down there, rebuilding armories and barracks and factories. He's got all these barracks and starports up there. It's very disorganized, but the fact that he's still on 8 racks, 2 factories, 3 starports tells us Clem's done a pretty good job of getting all of the fundamental pieces back down. But it's bought Dark a lot of time. So Dark now has the top left base. He's got this base because Clem was so busy rebuilding his economy, setting his production back up, all that stuff that Terran normally sets up in the early game. Clem had to spend the last few minutes re-establishing. Bio comes forward. There's no Banes in here. There's like a single Baneling. So the Bio Ghost does really well against the Ling YOLO. Oh no, Dark with a big mistake. Big mistake here for Dark. Oh no. Oh, he's taking massive damage. The Lurkers not being watched. He assumed this base was undefended, and Dark is gonna have to tap out there. Those Lurkers were like the one big problem unit that he was giving to Clem, and just misclicking, well, not really misclicking, but clicking them in, assuming, oh, it'll be a planetary, we'll walk in there and get some damage. And we've all done this in a StarCraft game, even Dark. I mean, he's so busy at this stage, and you can see these Lurkers just unload from the Nidus. And that is, how many Lurkers was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's gonna be 10 Lurkers down for what? A couple of SCVs at most. Half of them died before they even burrowed. The Lurkers were gonna re-siege, and Dark knows he's screwed, man. Well played, though. He made this way closer than he had any business making it. Clem, however, despite that, is up 2-0. Clem in Korea, a scary thought. Oh, my lord, guys. Oh, no, it's Dynasty. Well, Clem's got to be happy about this. He's like, I get a gold base for free. Meanwhile, Dark in the top right, down 0-2, needs to win 3 games in a row to bring this back. And he's got to take the blue base. That gold base is a trap. He's going to go blue base at the front. He'll then take the 3rd here, and he'll try to secure his 4th up here, which means about 6 minutes 30, he's going to start getting mining on that base. I really hope Dark actually takes the purple gas straight away for once, which he almost never does. The last 10 times I've asked him on this map, he takes it like a minute after the base finishes and just leaves a lot of money on the table. But the real problem is whether or not you take that purple gas straight away. Terran is pushing you at 6:30 to 7 minutes. There is constant pressure from a player like Clem. And I feel like it's going to be really hard for Dark to hang on. I mean, Dark and Raynor have played surprisingly good matches on this map recently. I think Dark did beat Beyond one game on this map recently, which was cool. Raynor almost beat Beyond one map here, but it is Terran favored. I mean, the fact that you get a fully protected expansion from Runbys over here, because you've already got your wall off at your ramp. I mean, you can play greedy. I'd love to see Clem play a 3 command center opening. I think that would just be 3 command center. Hellion Banshee is a great way to play. Then again, if you do that, Dark's probably going to do something ridiculous and do like a queen drop on you or a Nidus Worm, but we'll see how it plays. Dark has largely played very generic macro on this map. We normally see the Zerg play Roach Ravager to kind of expand towards this top side to get map control and try to defend, but I feel like these chokes up here can get kind of nasty. You know, tanks behind these ledges and on these cliffs can be scary, and that can be a big issue. Now, big shout out to Yordle in our Twitch chat. Yordle260. We were kind of like, what is going on in that game? Because someone came in chat and they said, I think it was MP, had a good comment. They said, oh, it was a bit of an anticlimactic finish after an epic game. And I said, yes, in that last game, but counterpoint, basically, Dark was stuck in a death animation for 12 minutes and just refused to die. Yordle came in and pointed out, well, yeah, actually, in Greek mythology, apparently Achilles chased Hector 3 times around the entire city before he finally caught him and killed him. Yeah, I mean, we were kind of watching a Benny Hill cartoon, right? Clem was like, can you die? And Dark was just refusing to go down and giving himself every possible option he had to get back in that game. And that's the fun of it. That's the fun of watching Dark. Just refuse to go down, especially against a guy like Clem, who's known for just having such a vicious level of micro-aggression momentum, mixed with his macro that you just, if you fall behind, you often can't get back into a good position. And the best chance is always counterattacking, because Clem's defense rating is good. He's maybe an 80 out of 100. His attacking is like a 99. It's such a vast difference. You have to put Clem on the back foot wherever possible. Easier said than done, suffice to say. And we've got some things coming out, some queens as well. Overlord's perfectly timed. I'm going to be very critical of Dark's opening because we know Clem's going to do his well. He's once again playing fast second gas into Starport. You could see he pulled his mule off before it mined the last 25 minerals. The reason being, guys, it'll mine 25 minerals, but it will run out just before it returns it. So basically, Clem was preserving 25 minerals on this mineral patch. And that's what you do if you have unlimited APM, skill, and you are one of the greatest Terrans in the world right now. Oh, gets the creep tumor. Is that worth losing a Reaper? I'm gonna go. I would normally say no, but if he gets the follow-up tumor snipe with the Hellions, then I think it is worth it. It's worth diving here. Yeah, it's worth diving. Ah, he gets it. He gets it. He clicked on the queen, I believe, just because you can't necessarily click on the creep tumor, but if it's lined up behind it, you can get it. So now I think it's worth it. Even though the Hellions took some damage, this really slows down Dark's creep. And the queens are fighting! That queen just hit the other queen there. Wow. Uh-oh. He's forced a little bit of a mutiny here. Bit of an... Dark fails his animosity test, you know? I mean, Dark truly is like the 40k orcs. Or even old world orcs. Basically, there's a lot of them just randomly killing each other. You know, he likes war. He likes war. He likes fighting. And he's not happy that his opponent gets to paint his Hellions red, because as you guys know, red ones do go faster. That is actually a true science fact. Did you guys know StarCraft was originally going to be a Warhammer game? It ended up falling through and they had to change it to some other stuff that's totally not Warhammer. These are Marines, not Space Marines, guys. It's a different thing. These aren't Tyranids. These are Zerg. Zerg. All right. Evo chambers going down in the main. 450. Remember what I said about the Evo chambers were a bit late, 530? That I think 450, very crisp Evo chamber time. He's going to have really quick upgrades. Does lose 2 drones, though. Clem's really good at sniping that. Banshee comes in. Where's the spores at? They are in each base. Lair has not started. Oh, actually, wait, there's spore. He's got a liberator spore there. Badly placed spore. Those drones need to run to the other side. Ooh. Yeah, you can just hang here with the Banshee because he's got to move that spore over to defend it. Dark still hasn't moved the spore. Okay, he's going to do it now. Clem could come back in for a few more snipes, and indeed he will. He's going to get... Oh, these damaged drones. Have they regened enough? They have not. And that Banshee getting quite a lot of damage, dude. 4 workers, uncloaks, gets out of there. Hellions do take a little bit. Another Banshee comes in, can sit in between the bases. He could just patrol that Banshee like there, catch any drones that are rallying out. Dark desperately needs to take that 4th base. It's 540. He hasn't even started it, so it's going to be a little late. when he starts mining that. You've got to get that mining on that gold base as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Clem's gold base is roaring. His third base is going to start floating down. Remember, his third is not that quick, so he does need to do damage with this style. This sort of damage, you might be thinking, oh, he's delayed the creep. He's killed 6 drones already. He hasn't even lost a Banshee yet. All he lost was a Reaper. If it was a 3 command center opening, this would be crazy damage. But this is not a 3 command center very early. This is a later 3rd command center. It's just landed. So, you know, the relational damage is not as high as it may have been if Clem was playing economic in terms of the actual impact on Dark. Now, Dark's on 66 drones. He's on his 5 gases. These 2 gases make no sense, guys. This is the big mistake he makes on this map build order-wise. Take this gas. It's going to start mining like 10 seconds later, and it's worth as much as these 2 gases combined. And this is what I keep criticizing him for, because Dark's builds are just riddled with these like small lack of optimizations that he just never makes. And I'm like, come on, Dark. Why wouldn't you take the purple gas and start mining that straight away? You don't need gas right now. It's a small thing, but here's the scary part. 74 drones for Dark, 60 workers for Terran. Clem's first tank push is arriving. And that's where things get scary, because if you can't keep control of the gold, you're screwed. And he's going Ling Bane. He's not playing Roach Ravager, so it's hard to defend pushes like this. On the other hand, it's not that much Marine tank, but the Hellions, they're going to be a real issue. Armory's finishing up, which means he can morph Hellbats here. The tank's in a pretty good position there. You can see it reaches quite far. Marine's coming forward. Queen's coming in as well. Tank doesn't do much damage to Queens. It kind of tickles Queens. It's just that it's got great range, and when it targets the Banelings, that's the big part. So if you guys find you really don't get much value out of Marine tank pushes, if you're, say, a Diamond Plus, Diamond 2 Plus, try to focus fire your tanks. Maybe even put them on a different control group, or just control click them and shift click them on Banelings when the fighting starts, like after you pull your Marines back, then micro your Marines more. I think I'm trying to mix that into my own play. I don't play enough TVZ to really get a lot of practice with it, but I watch guys like Clem, and you'll notice those tanks are almost always targeting groups of Banelings. Makes a big diff. All right, big army's coming in behind. He's got Hellbats guarding from a flank. That means they can't really be here if it's a frontal fight, but I think he knows that Dark would be crazy to just fight through a choke point. And he's going to put up another tank really far behind. Look at this. Look at this fallback point, guys. Oh, wow. He's going to put it all the way up there. So he's like, yeah, I want to bait you into taking a bad fight, essentially. Look at the spready. Wow. 6 more Overlords building. Dark's a little supply blocked right now. He has spent most of his money, though. Here we go. The tank's getting good shots. Units lost tab getting bad for Dark. Dark is securing the gold base. Never got that purple gas going, though. We'll see how this goes. Marines coming forward. Queens aren't taking damage. Time to pull those Marines out of there. They're getting way too wounded. He needs to cycle those Marines back, maybe, for fresh Marines and medevacs, because these medevacs are dry. Those Marines are out of hit points as well. Dark's not making a counterplay, which is so shocking. I mean, there's Banshees at home waiting for it. Yeah, I think Clem's just, like, expecting it. It's not happening. I think Dark should give this base up. I think Dark has to give this base up, in fact, because the units lost time's getting a little out of hand. The Queens have done a good job. I mean, there are Hydras now. Dark seems to be happy to just drag this out for now. Clem's work account's not crazy. He's only on 67 workers. He has a big army advantage, though. Upgrades are equal right now. Marines on that top side still being a nuisance. More Marines coming forward. These Queens refusing to die. This tank has done so much damage. It's on 24 kills. Sergeant Chadhammer herself driving that one. But here we go. Where are the rest of the Marines? They're only just arriving down here. Oh, those Marines gunning down the Banelings on the bottom side are huge. And that tank on the left as well. But I feel like those Marines were just a little late. So Dark was still able to dislodge the worst tanks. And look at the trade. Yeah, it was a really good trade for Dark. Clem overcommitted with the low hit point Marines and didn't bring enough support forward. So that was actually a very good engagement for Dark. That was like the fact that the unit's lost tab is almost even. That's really impressive. Yes, he's only up 3 workers, but this is way better than last game in terms of the trading. Dark fighting into a choke point repeatedly, finding efficiency. You might think these are things that shouldn't happen, and yeah, that's why. Dark's a rule breaker. Oh my gosh, the Widow Mines! The Widow Mines! Dark uses the unofficial neural parasite and gets his Zerglings to drag the Widow Mines into the center of those Marines. Oh my lord! They were juicy Marine hits, guys. He's trading better than Clem right now. Clem needs to back out of this choke point and reset a little bit and take some more efficient fights. Clem, not one to really slow down the pace, though. His whole style is based off momentum. And we'll see how he goes here. Marines pulling back. Medevacs as well. Ooh-wee. Banshees on the bottom side. They haven't had a counterattack to defend this whole time. Now that you kill the Banshees, this is when you go for more counterattacks as Dark. You go, cool. Okay, you're not leaving anything at home anymore. because you're losing fights on the front, and now your defense unit isn't there. So if he can split off enough money of Ling Bane to blow up this 4th base, massive, because the gold base is half mined out. Not only that, dude, you need to build wall-offs here right now. You need to wall this base off. This is so dangerous, having your production wide open. Guys, we've talked about this map. Remember the first month of this map? We were like, well, this map's terrible for Protoss after 2 weeks. And Lambo was like, technically, yes. But remember, guys, Protoss players are stupid and they keep forgetting that their minerals mine out and they win every game by running in there. Looks like Terrans might forget that as well, man. I don't know. Nice pick up there. It does save most of his units. Still, pretty damn good trading for Dark, though. 5th Command Center is on the way. Actually, wait. Oh, he's taking a 5th base down here. 6th Command Center on the way on the top. Wow. Clem is going to just play really forward with the base taking on the bottom. I don't mind it. That protects his gold base. And this is like a very fast, now that his production can rally out in that direction, it's actually very close to his production. This makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, he can't defend his base, can he? He's trying to unload. He does get a few Widow Mines out, but he can't unload the rest of the bio, which means he's going to lose 8 SCVs. And the Banshee's going to have to slowly push these Zerglings away. He's going to have to scan to get that base landed again. Is Mr. Clem on the top side. Hydra's jumping on top of his bio. He picks up and pulls those units back. Remember, he's playing the same bio mine map control style, but he also doesn't have ghosts this game. He's only on 67 workers. He doesn't have the extra orbitals. So Clem's kind of playing a style where Dark is actually getting ahead because he's got Lurk Attack on the way, Adrenal Glands. His Carapace +3 is not far behind the +3 attack of Clem. Clem is kind of, I don't know if I want to say all in, but he's close to it because there's no ghost transition. He's only got a 4th orbital coming up. He doesn't have the big economic growth that he normally does. Attack on the left side coming in for Dark. A lot of Hydras are coming in. They are 2-1-2 is the Zerg upgrades against the 2-2 of the Terran. So pretty damn even in the upgrade matchup. Hydras on the high ground, going to get rid of an orbital command center, and that's going to be a dead orbital. Nice snipe there for Dark. Dark needs to get the Hydras out. They're valuable units. Ling Bane's going to find the worker line. Great moves. He even burrows a Baneling and a Zergling in the mineral line. I don't think Clem noticed that. There's a lot going on right now. It's unlikely he noticed that. Lings are going to clean up these Widow Mines. I think maybe he got a big Widow Mine shot in the Banelings. Hard to say. Units lost tab still actually positive right now for Dark. Can you believe it, guys? I mean, it becomes negative there just at the tail end of that. But check this one out. A few Marines and Marauders left there. He may indeed realize there are some borrowed units in that position. Scanning on the front as well. Clem denying the bottom base. It is only a 5 base setup for Dark. Dark's going to run out of money in a minute or two, so or his mining will start dropping. Lurker, Hydra Lings coming in on the top. Units lost tab. About 1,000 ahead for Clem now. He's finding some efficiency, but every time he picks up like that, it's dangerous because Dark's the crazy guy who will chase you home. Gets himself a medevac. No units inside. More units come out of the production, which is kind of helpful, but the Lurkers are there controlling your ramp, and Lurkers on your ramp is going to be a massive issue for Clem. Has to pull his whole army back. Ling's attacking a planetary. Mass repair will come in, but the Banelings are going to say, no, 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 silly boy. Your planetary is a deaditary. You know what I'm saying? It's like hereditary but dead. It's just planetary but dead. It's deaditary. I don't know what I'm saying. Neither do you. That's okay. That's my job as a commentator. Clear, concise conveyance of information. Hydraling Bane there is in trouble. I think it's time for Dark to pull these guys back. They are gonna get sandwiched. He might be staying a bit too long. The Lurker gets focus fired. The Hydraling Bane trying to jump on top, but he's bringing in a massive reinforcement from the right side as well. That Lurker, an Overseer, causing big problems. Clem still has not taken care of that Lurker. It's doing massive damage. The Lings kill the rebuild of the command center, and this might just be a game-winning move. Dark here on the map that's terrible for Zerg says, lol, terrible for Zerg. You just activated my superpower. I play way better StarCraft when I'm behind. And the great thing about this map is I don't need to mess up my build order to be behind. I'm behind from the start because you get a free gold base. Who knew? This map actually activates Dark superpowers. And to be fair, I think it makes sense. It's the weird maps, the maps that play different. It's the maps that play weird. Where the Terran probably doesn't have as much experience because it always gets vetoed in the best of threes. It's the maps where you've got to be very adaptable, very adjustable, where you've got to be able to adjust on the fly and adapt to the map, where Dark finds a way. And I really think, honestly, guys, people say you can't trust a merc, you know? Someone who you pay to join your army, they're the first to run when they get in sign of trouble. Well, you know what, guys? What you guys don't actually realize is the Widow Mines of Clem, they're actually running on CloudStrike software. So Dark actually is the guy who's been secretly working in their department, putting out their Falcon patch. And you're going to see in this moment coming up here that he actually used that CloudStrike to CloudStrike the Marines in the friggin' face. Because that was brutal right there. So watch that one more time. Oh my lord. Look at this Widow Mine, man. Oh, that Widow Mine. And this one wasn't bad either. I was like maybe 10 Marines, maybe like 7, maybe like 7 on that and like 4 or 5 on that one. That was 2 very good Widow Mine drags. And yeah, Clem just took some bad trades up here. I think you can look at the earlier fight when the position got broken as well. And I think his reinforce was a little slow. I think if you look at this scenario, remember I was saying these Marines were getting a bit too damaged and he needed to cycle new medevacs? Where are his medevacs, first of all? Oh, Clem wasn't building medevacs very consistently. He's only on 3 medevacs. So he hasn't lost one. It's 9 minutes and he's only got 3 medevacs on the map and only 2 there on the front and 1 there. So Clem actually was missing medevac production in this game. So there was like a little bit of a macro error where maybe he was really good on his upgrades, his Widow Mine production, but he missed some medevac production. So that's kind of big because these Marines were dying like probably more than they should have been just to the Queen Hydra. And then these guys were just a bit slow and they weren't quite in position to really join in this fight. Whereas you can imagine if a few more of these Widow Mines were scattered up here already, like he was basically, Clem was so sure that Dark wouldn't be stupid enough to attack one directionally through a choke point. And Dark had to attack him from either this side or this side. And so Clem basically made an assumption about what you have to do based off the established thinking, which is fighting in choke point bad, flanking good for Zerg versus Terran. And because of that, he just didn't actually have enough units to defend the choke point. This choke point only has a few tanks, a couple Marines, a couple Hellbats defending it. So the choke point doesn't even become an issue, and Dark just shoves through it. Is that 300 IQ killer instinct by Dark? Is it him realizing that Clem wasn't covering that choke point? Was he lucky? You guys can decide on that one. But either way, a win's a win, and I'll absolutely pay Dark out for that one. Very well played here. Clears those 2 tanks, and these guys just weren't in position. If they were all spread around here, Bio Mine plus those 2 tanks, it's a very different situation for Dark. But really well played, great efficiency all throughout, and I absolutely love his play. GG, well played. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those diapers in Korea aren't cheap. The formula, all those new dad baby costs, man. So Dark, he fights back, doesn't go down there, and he's now on Site Delta. Now, Dynasty into Site Delta means Dark picked one of these maps. I don't know which one he picked, but Dark and being a bit of a mad dog, bit of a savage, not particularly surprising. He's a very unpredictable player, and he's going to be facing 2 Rex Reaper by the looks of it from Clem. I don't rate this build. Clem mixes it in, I think, just to add variety to his play. I've never felt Clem was, like, fantastic at this build, though. It's okay. We usually see Hatchgas Pool from Dark on this map. He goes 16 Hatchery, and we'll find out in a second. So you see... Wait, why is he not building another drone? Okay, no, he's building it. There we go. So you can see he's going Hatch Gas Pool because he wants to get the first one is going to stack up with this single drone. All the other mineral patches have pairs, and he just stacks that guy up. So those 16 on minerals, perfect. Goes for the gas next and the pool next. And that's just your standard hatchery, gas, spawning pool. Spawning pool here gives you vision, I guess, of Reapers moving around. I guess that's the main reason for it. I never liked the spawning pool being there because every now and then a drop sneaks into my main, and I hate losing my spawning pool. Dark likes that position for whatever reason. Not a big deal either way. These are the minutiae of StarCraft. We are going to have the add-ons on the outside of the wall, which means they are vulnerable to getting busted. And Dark's shown he likes Ravager Ling All-Ins, which in general are good against 2 ranks openings. It's just attacking up a ramp is always a bit more awkward. Which KSL are we casting? This is the finals from less than a day ago. This is KSL 55 Grand Finals. Dark against Clem. I got recommended this. People said, it's a banger. You got to check it out. It's so good. If you guys want to support KSL, by the way, they have a Patreon. Go check it out. Just search for Korean StarCraft League Patreon. Actually, there's probably a Patreon for the Brood War KSL as well, right? What comes up first if you Google that? SC. Make sure you search SC2 KSL, not just StarCraft KSL, and hosted by Dave Tester and Chicken Man. Good on them for hosting this tournament. Lots of money going to those Korean players. Well, it's not really Korean region locked. It's always held on the Korean service. The Koreans, anyone living in Korea can play, gets a big advantage. Clem over there right now training, of course, is why he's able to play. Now, Clem already getting a Zergling kill. Is he going to go for the cancel on the base? He's building a 4th Reaper. Splits his Reapers to find where the hatchery is. And he goes, you're over here. So he's going to go for the kill. Not a bad call. Queens have gone for the double inject. Yeah, he's gone double inject. Only 2 queens massing Zerglings. This is a very quick ling speed, guys. This is a very quick ling speed for Dark. So he's already sneaking Lings out right now. Oh me, oh my. He's going to try and bust through these add-ons. And the thing is, the reactor's here. He should have built the tech lab here. Reason, reactor takes longer to build. You want to build the reactor on this side and the tech lab there, because you want the tech lab to finish building so you can quickly repair it with SCVs. But dude, these Lings are arriving. This is not what Clem was expecting. He has no firepower at home. He has to pull this SCV off the command center and wall off with like an engineering bay, I think. That's going to die really fast. He has to bring that SCV over right now. You got to wall off with an eBay. It's an eBay wall off or die trying. Oh god, it goes down. He cancels the reactor. The Reapers do get the hatchery cancelled, but Dark doesn't even lose the drone. He can rebuild that whenever he feels like it. Dark is in with mass speedling. Oh me, oh my. Dude, this was a quick Ling speed. He pulled off minerals onto gas to get this Ling speed as fast as possible. Marines are dying as they pop out. These 4 Reapers are going to try and defend. He's got to join the Reapers and the SCVs. But if the Reapers get surrounded, it's game over. The Reapers are getting jumped on. Already one of them dies. He's trapped. He's trapped. Oh, Dark. And he actually bounces the Zerglings into a massive surround. That's just GG. Oh, my gosh. Oh, okay. Wow. Damn, dog. Damn. I told you guys I don't really like when Clem does this build. I didn't expect that. I just want to show you... notice how he prioritizes gas here. Oh my god, he didn't... Wait, did he? Yeah, he must have prioritized gas. The moment it finishes, I imagine he pulls a worker off minerals, right? Yeah, he pulls 1 worker off minerals, so he's immediately got 3 workers on gas, then he just starts Ling speed as soon as it's done. So not a bad way to play for Dark at all, to try and just, you know, oh, everyone plays 2x Reaper on this map. It's just so predictable on this map, the 2x Reaper. And that's always, I guess, been a bit of a problem with Clem, is sometimes he is a little predictable, whereas Dark has the opposite superpower, which is, you know, forever unpredictable. And the 3rd hatchery, just, he knew with this Overlord, he's like, the moment you go up to find that hatchery, you're going to commit to killing it, because that's what Terran always wants, and I can just sneak across through the bottom. Now, what could Clem have done to defend this, guys? Well, he could have poked around with a Reaper maybe to see the Ling rally. Maybe could have diverted the 4th Reaper, but it's just so rare to see Ling speed and a Ling flood like this and them sneaking out. Like, it's just one of those little things you forget is even an option. You know what's bad about this position as well, guys, is even if you built an engineering bay, you can't wall this off, because you need 4 spaces to wall off. Because if you build an engineering bay, it has to be 1 space overlapped with the depot, which means there's a diagonal on the corner with the barracks. So he needs to build an engineering bay and build another building, which he can't do with 1 SCV very quickly. Like, maybe he could. If this SCV immediately goes there, he could build like engineering bay and then a depot or something, but it's very scary, and the moment he gets in, you're screwed because you don't have a high ground ramp to fall back on. So this is just super tough to actually deal with. And you can tell he's not got that many minerals. He's like, ah, and the reactor's already down by the time his SCV gets there. This is so difficult to stop. Clem would have needed to react instantly and build 2 buildings, and that's just so hard. I'm not sure if it was even physically possible. GG, well played. Dark ties up the series. All right, gang, from up 2-0 to 2-2, Clem has lost some momentum, and he's going on to Amphion, which is Dark's map. Dark beat Maru on this map both times he played him recently in big tournaments, both in Dallas, where he lost to Maru eventually, and in the GSL. What am I looking at, by the way? This is my first time noticing. This map has floating rocks on it? What? You guys ever see this before? What is this? Anyone who knows the lore of why there's floating rocks on this map, let me know. I would love to understand why there are little floating rocks hanging around. Anyways, yeah, Dark loves this map. And he's going to go hatch gas pool, which is very greedy because the Reaper gets across really early. I wish Clem would go for that low ground barracks. I think it's so good because you can then lift it to get rid of the Overlord on the pillar. And then you can also, we can also kind of go across here and check out that 3rd hatchery as well, which Clem... I always criticize him because he always tries to block the 3rd hatchery, and I think on this map you're leaving drone damage on the table. I don't think letting the Zerg build the 3rd is that big of a deal. I actually think it's probably more important to do drone damage, and this is something I've kind of criticized Clem for a little bit on this map. I think he's prioritizing the wrong thing, but we'll see what he goes for here and see if he changes it up at some point. Someone in the chat says EWC Finals is actually a best of 9, semi is best of 7. I like that. I did not realize that. I totally forgot that. That's awesome. I don't know if any of you guys are AoE 2 fans. I know some people are sick of me talking about Age of Empires. But I've always thought AoE 2 finals are a special kind of epic, which StarCraft 2 finals, especially with best of 7s, sadly aren't as much. And I think as you make formats bigger, you just give more chances for, even if a player kind of gets dominated, it might be like a 5-2 or a 5-1. rather than a 4-0, and it just gives you a little bit more depth, and it's even more impressive if the player does 5-0 them, which I think would be pretty rare, you know? I really like that, and so what I like about AoE 2 is they always do big, like, best of 7, sometimes best of 9 finals, and it often is like the whole day is just the finals, and it takes so long, but it's epic, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like even when I watch like a 4-1 or a 4-0 in those, it feels like a little bit more epic, and that's what I do enjoy about it. Guys, that SCV is one hit from death. Does block the hatchery from being taken. Clem trying to get the best of both worlds right now. He's forced a Spore Trick. That SCV is one hit from death. The only way that SCV can block the hatchery is if it builds a building quickly, or just by not letting the drone get in range of it. I mean, it's crazy that Clem managed to do Ling damage, force a Spore, and actually deny the third. I mean, this is the best of both worlds. I mean, I'm down with it. I was criticizing him because he wasn't getting stuff like the Spore damage, forcing the 6 Lings. This time he gets the Spore Crawler force, gets the 6 Lings, crazy fast Ling speed again for Dark, but he hasn't got a third hatchery, and I just think this is really great pressure opening for Clem, who once again is going double gas stop. I don't know, guys. I gotta say, I wish Clem was mixing in a few more third command center builds. Like, I think on Site Delta, if he just did a 1-Rax expand into 3cc, that's a better build than 2-Rax Reaper. But it feels like he has to play, like I think he has to play heavy pressure in his mind and get the Banshees out super early, or there's too many chances for Dark to surprise him. So I think Clem, and this is like a very Clem thing to do, is like, if he's worried about someone's aggression, he will be more aggressive himself to try and keep them on the defensive. Like, Clem is a player, like most players are like, you're going to be aggressive, I'll take some safety precautions. Clem's like, I'll attack you first. You can't attack me if I'm attacking you. It's this is how Clem plays video games, man. And you're like, is that how strategy works? Well, you know, the best defense is a good offense. It's a saying for a reason. It absolutely can apply. Clem is just leaning into his advantage. He understands his strengths. He says, I'm good at attacking. I'm going to keep attacking the attacking guy. It just means that you can, you know, it becomes an all-out war for who goes first. So far, he's done a good job of slowing Dark down. Dark's natural saturated, but I mean, it's like 420, man. His work account just hasn't looked explosive in these games at all. That being said, Dark is now focusing on it. He's going up to 6 queens as well. Hellion's going to take out 1. They are going to take out 2 creep tumors. They are getting bruised a little, though. Hellion at the front. Oh, that costs him. Yeah, Ling's getting a surround there is really nice. There's only 9 Zergans there. He's going to try to poke forward to the Lings. Dark thinks better of it, pulls back. I like this choice for Dark. Liberator's coming in the left side. Spore Crawler is building, so he's seen it. He should build a Spore in the natural as well, especially if his queens aren't split, which right now, no way of dealing with that. Liberator getting at 3 or 4 drones. Oof. 2 drones to start. Hellion's still getting creep tumors. That's like the 4th creep tumor he's killed, which is very nice. Queen did take a shot. Look at how quick the Liberator is. Doesn't even take a hit. Look at, and this is, yeah, he's so annoying with his. I've played against Clem's Lib multiple times. I gotta say, nothing makes you feel like an absolute frigging turtle, dinosaur, slow player that can't keep up, like Clem's Liberator, just running back and forwards and being like, oh, your Spore's going that way? I'll go the other way. Oh, your Spore's going the other way now? I'll go back the first way. Like, he'll just micro his Lib in and out, and you're like, can you just be a normal Terran who sieges it once I move my Spore and kill it? Can you not be so annoying with this Lib? But Clem's Liberator is so good at just surviving, looking for angles, and joining up with other Hellions, and just being annoying. And it's his ability to do that while macroing perfectly, that's the skill. Oh, he did. Guys, I always say, with your engineering base, build them further apart. Don't build them too close, or you end up with an SCV. Now, why did he patrol it? That's so it doesn't show up as an idle worker, guys. So he can save that with a medevac if he wants. When a medevac comes out, he can pick that up and get it out of there and get it back to work. But in the meantime, he doesn't want to keep seeing the idle worker button and go, oh, and then selecting it and going, oh, crap. So he's just put it on a patrol path. Clever little move. Hellion Lib coming in. Lair's on the way. It's once again really fast double upgrades. Fast double upgrades, slow Lair, slow Baneling Nest is incredibly weak to timing attacks. Clem, game 5, is never going to commit to an all-out Marine tank push. That's just not Clem's style. So you're not going to have Clem... You know how Maru just kills Dark like 3/4 of the time with a 7-minute 2-tank, 20 Marine push, 2 medevacs, couple of Hellbats? Clem never goes all out on those pushes. So Dark has done this every game, the 1/1 upgrades, because he knows he can get away with it. And this is a classic example of Clem being predictable and Maru being unpredictable, even though Clem randomizes his openings. So you'd think on paper that makes you unpredictable, but there are certain things he just never does. And once you realize that, you can kind of take advantage. Maru, on the other hand, is highly unpredictable. Part of why he is probably overall the better performing Terran in the long run. Big push coming. This is just after 7 minutes. This is kind of a scary push. This is kind of the push I was saying Clem would not go all out on. To be fair, Maru would cut workers for this push. And that's where Dark just dies right now. This is not a worker cut push. Clem's still building SCVs. He's going to use his lib to back up this push. He's reinforcing it with Hellions and another Marine drop. He's going to start sieging this base from over here. I think this is so hard for Dark to deal with. Oh, the medevac. The medevac got focused there. Oh, but now we can't save the Marines. But the tanks were focusing the Banelings down. He does save 8 of the Marines anyway. 1 medevac goes down. That should have been a very good trade for Clem. Yeah, he loses a medevac and a few Marines, but because his tanks were covering against the slow Banelings, because speed Bane isn't done, he's got this window to be very annoying. That being said, Bane speed is done in about 20 seconds. So this window is closing. Clem needs more damage now while he's in this position. The Queen Transfuse is almost out. So right now, Dark can't tank with the Queens very well. He loses 5 drones. Medevac's going to be in trouble. He pulls that back. Massive counterattack. You've prompted him to counterattack. Of course you have. Oh no, Clem. Okay, he's got a tank on the high ground. Command center is in the open. Those Marines on the ramp will cover. 4th command center dies. It's dead. It does not get saved. What is dead may never die, except in this case, it will because it's a command center and it was never alive to begin with. Marines are here. He's put a tank forward as well. This 4th base is dead. Dark gives up. He's got a 5th base in the top. Good choice to give that up. Gets 11 workers. Kills a 4th command center. That was a good trade for Dark. Like, he was in a terrible position. He could not defend this hatchery. So he says, look, I can't fight front on. I have to make the best decision I can. Does it feel good to give up my 4th? No. But at least I'm slowing you down as well. So now I'm still 4 base against 3 base. Your 4th command center hasn't started rebuilding. I'm up in workers. It's not a great Zerg work account, but it's not a great Terran work account either. So this makes the game lower economy. It makes it scrappier. And that is where Dark is the potentially the best player in the world, right? Scrappy, down and dirty games. He's going to have to give up this hatchery as well. He's not even trying to defend it. He's already expanding to the left. Oh, wow, Dark. He never intended to defend this base. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to defend that choke point. That's a terrible corridor of death. So Clem spends a while setting up a push. Gets a hatchery kill. Great value. But Clem's kind of all in right now, right? Like, he starts a... Okay, there we go. He starts a 4th command center. Where's his SCV production, though? I feel like he should be putting SCVs as well. Ling Bane coming in. Oh, maybe not the best counterattack there for Dark. Yeah, that one's not going to do much. Banelings get focused down. Well, the siege tank can do a bit of friendly fire, but no real SCVs falling whatsoever. 2-2 upgrades coming in. Burrow, Overlord Speed, Infestation Pit. Dark saying, that's fine, let's go to the next step. Problem, this is the next target for Clem. If he can't defend the 4th base this time, I think he's in dire straits, because it's a 40 army supply lead for Clem. And Dark needs to find a way to make some special stuff happen. We need some special stuff. We need to drop some magic mushrooms right now in terms of the strategy department. I don't know what we're going to be doing exactly. We've got to do something. Banelings can do okay against those Hellbats. Okay, but not enough to really kill anything on the front. He goes for it. Clem's distracted. Ooh, Banelings got on top of the front line. 2 of the tanks get caught out there. But the Marines pull back, and Dark needs to withdraw. He cannot fight in that choke point, not one directionally. He's low on Banelings. He's low on Banelings. How the hell do you survive here? He doesn't have... He's got muscular augments, but no +1 range yet for these Hydras. The Marine tank coming forward. There's no Banelings, but that is a massive Hydras. An absolute arc of doom. Only 1-1's done against +2 Carapace. Clem forgot his 2-2 upgrades. He's down. He's down in the upgrades. The Hydraling Queen's doing it because they've got +2 Carapace. Clem, oh, damn, way behind on his 2-2. And that cost him. If he had 2-2 there, I am convinced he wins the game. If he had 2-2, I guarantee you this game is over. But the 2-2 upgrades being there for Dark, even though the Hydras don't have attack upgrades, it's okay. They've got +2 Carapace. The Queens, the Lings helped out massively. Clem is now overcommitted because he's fighting into an upgrade disadvantage. This is if you're behind on upgrades as an aggressive player, it's really bad because you do not want to pull home and defend. You know your strength lies in being aggressive, but attacking into an upgrade disadvantage is a bad move, and Clem just did it. Look at the units lost tab. It is still 2,000 in his favor. Well, more like 1,800, but close enough. Clem is taking a 4th base, but he's not been building workers. He's not really building for that longer game. He's playing the momentum style, trying to push in with the lead that he has. But Dark's 4th is still alive. He kept the 5th up in the middle. He's got the new 6th base on the right, which was his initial 4th base. Catching a lot of Marines on the left side. Oh, Clem saves quite a few of those. On the right side, does defend over there as well. Clem's going to get tricky with his drops. Ooh, Widowmine drop coming over. Okay, so Clem's going to slow down now. He's going triple drops. Normally, you'd pair that with SCV production and more command centers, but Clem is playing is a mixture of multi-prong aggression and nothing but army. Medevac gets shut down on the right. Plenty of units being pinned on the defensive. Widowmine drop hits the center. Still no SCV production, but he's going for a Ghost Academy and gases. So Clem's playing... I don't even know what to call this style, guys. 65 drone momentum. This is kind of... Beyond plays this sometimes. Maru plays a style where he won't mass expand these days. He goes to 90 workers and just keeps taking an extra planetary and just pushing and trading and trading and trading. Beyond will play a 65 worker. Kua does it as well sometimes, where they're just like, I just got to keep you on the ropes. But in that style, you'd be more aggressive. Whereas right now, Clem's kind of fallen back for a while to lick his wounds, wait for his upgrades to kick in. His 2-2's kicked in, but he's still not pushing. And now he drops a 5th command center and 3 more workers. This, to me, speaks of a bit of indecision on Clem's part, because he's not making... There's no clear edge to his build. When you see a player at this level without a clear direction they're heading towards, where they're kind of doing a bit of everything, that's when you kind of have to worry about them and go, what's the plan? Because the moment you don't have a plan in StarCraft, it's very easy to make big misplays because you're not thinking about what your strengths and weaknesses are, because you're not building any strengths and weaknesses. You're kind of doing everything. And doing everything means you're doing nothing well. And that is a rule you can apply in your own StarCraft games at home. Big counterattack getting ready. Clem, he's got a bit of a gap in his map control. Dark's going to Sanger him. Dark's going to Sanger him. I think he's got an army on the top right. He's got an army on the bottom left. No, he goes for the counterattack. There's a big army at home, but not that much marine firepower. I think that's a Dark, though. Yeah, probably a good pullback because he would have got sandwiched himself. Probably a good pullback. Still a double drop on the top left. Drop on the right. Clem's adding Ghost now off 72 workers. He has a 5th command center up. He's building more command centers. Okay, so now Clem's making the decision to play late game. 2 minutes after he probably should have. So this is a belated late game. I guarantee you if Oliveira's watching this game, he'd be very critical. Because you know Oliveira is making... If he's going late game, he's made that decision at 6 minutes 20 when he starts building his 4th command center before his 4th and 5th barracks. Now, to be fair, it's been a more, aggressive game, a bit more back and forth than that. There's been hatchery cancels. You're not going to be as clean as heading towards the late game, but definitely something where Clem is heading there a little later than you'd like. And Dark has got center creep control now, which I think really bodes well for him in the next step. I wouldn't say Dark's ahead. I just feel like he's got a lot of control for a guy who lost his 4th hatchery and his 5th hatchery very early on. Adrenal Glands is done, +3 carapace, +2 range. The Lurker upgrades have both been queued up. Nidus Worm has not started yet, but no doubt is on the way. 5 more Overseers making. Dark wants to shove. I think this is the point in the game where Dark's best play is waiting for Clem to get out of position. I love that tank. That tank on that high ground is one of my favorite positions on this map. And look at this one as well. Tanks with command center wall-offs. It's just so scary because attacking down this choke point feels terrible because you're just running up and down a shooting gallery. That's a 41 kill siege tank. Sergeant Chadhammer taking up station. You got Widowmine scattered around. You got a tank here. Attacking into this with tanks behind it, behind that ledge. Like, I mean, I'd be thinking about Broodlords if I was in Dark's shoes, but of course, the ghost count is growing. The command center count's growing. Extra factory. I think the one big thing that needs to be focused on is the armory for Clem. Like, Clem's starting to get a lot of money, and I think as he does that, a second armory might be worth it. That being said, he's already getting +3 vehicle weapons, so maybe just add armor after that one. In the old days, changelings used to basically be map hacks, guys, because people weren't fast enough to click on every changeling. So you'd have like 10 overseers, you just click tons of changelings in like that every 30 seconds, and they just couldn't click on all of them. They wouldn't notice them all. These days, it feels like you get 2 seconds of vision and you force your opponent to click a few times. That's the real benefit of changelings. Against a guy like Clem, the vision is almost non-existent, especially if the tank shoots you before you see their unit. They don't even get a chance to transform. Mass lurker drop. It's going to be a 10 lurker drop down the left side of the map. There are turrets coming up though, and sensor towers, and he's got 2 ghosts in position to snipe like Nidus Worm spotters. So I think his best option is probably to drop here, but then there's already tanks on that right side. Nidus Worm going up in his face. Ghost can clear that. Yeah, I don't know about this, man. The lurkers can just drop on top, I guess. It's very expensive, though. He's going to attack the right side as well. Hydras could actually kill that tank from the low ground, which is nice. Hydras come in. Ling Bane as well going into this base. He's going to take this one out. The lurkers have dropped in the main base at the exact same time. Dark blows up the planetary on the right side. Lurkers have burrowed on top. They've cleared the Nidus Worms. They cleared a few ghosts. There are more ghosts in the main. Are they going to be able to deal with it? Dark's retreated on the right side after taking out that tank and that planetary. Great call. He's also got a Nidus Worm over there. He turns around to kind of fight the Marines, which Clem is no longer microing. And a lot of those Marines run into their death. He's going to pop these units out in the main to reinforce. I think Dark's going to go hard on this main base. Snipes are cleaning up a few of his lurkers, though. Maybe he's not going to go that hard. The Nidus hasn't been loaded yet. Those guys are not getting inside. He's actually morphing lurkers over there, so he's thinking about hitting that bottom right side one more time. Trading, 5,000 resource deficit. That cost Dark a lot of money. And Dark may have bank, but he doesn't have lava. He hasn't been injecting at all for the last few minutes. He's only got 1 queen, which is actually a good thing because it means his army is way bigger, but it does mean he needs more hatcheries because he doesn't have enough lava to remax right now. He's gone up to 83 workers. Dark is prepared to play a longer game here. He's going to go for a Ling drop this time on top of the Marauders. Let's go. Mass Ling drop. They're going to overwhelm those Marauders very quickly. Clem trying to stabilize. More lurkers are in position, denying this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th base in the bottom right side corner. Ling's on the production right now. These drops are a great way of opening up a new front. Something that Zerg has to do to trade well against Terran in late game is create chaos, open up new fronts, use that mobility. Lings are going to get in the front side. Tanks, turrets, orbitals, all these things are very exposed right now. Lings burrowing in the main base. Lurkers on the right side run away. How many lurkers has he lost? 16 lurkers. This is not cheap, guys. He's down 6,000 in the resources lost. But he breaks a tank in the middle, forces the orbitals to lift. And Clem right now struggling to be in the right position at the right time because he's being a cheeky boy. And look at this. He's finally cleaning up the Nidus in the main. And that's fine. Lingbane's going to jump on the third. Boast is there. That's a Boast army. Bio Ghost is Boast. Oh, dude, that spread. Dude, Clem is the man where you charge into melee, and it's like his units are controlled by an AI. It's like a bunch of nanoprobes that just or like a school of fish that instantly like reforms its position around you in a circle, and you find yourself as the Baneling or the Zergling surrounded by 20 dudes with guns pointing them in at you. It's like attacking into melee when Clem's watching the fight. It really is just ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. He's so good at setting up those reactive pullbacks to the point where as your guys charge forwards, you surround yourself. It's like, you know, they always talk about how if you can like break through a bulge, you know, create a bulge in your opponent's line, break through deep enough, you can start kind of collapsing in and breaking their line. It always turns into an envelopment against Clem. You push in, you think you're breaking through, and then you find yourself surrounded every single time as his units just pull back on all sides until they have not just a concave, but a 360-degree surround. That being said, Dark's not going to stop, dude. You think Dark's going to stop? You think Dark's done? You think Dark's done YOLOing units in? Well, he's out of money. That's a problem. So he's got to take a second here. Remember, he's rebuilt a few queens. 4 queens is probably the ideal number to keep up some good production, but not waste too much supply. A lot of Zergs I've seen who struggle in late game, a lot of Diamond players were always like, man, I can't win in late game against Mech or Bio Ghost. And I look at their game and I'm like, you have 16 queens. And they go, yeah, they're a really good unit. I'm like, yeah, for the first 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, get rid of those. You need like 1 or 2 for spreading creep, and you need a few for injecting, and that's all you need. Hydraling Bane coming through the middle right now. Dark understands this. He realizes he needs a massive army to compete with that giant Terran army. Nidus Ling in the left side. Dude! Oh my lord! Dude, he is more vicious than an STD in a bloody military whorehouse. This is, I don't know, sorry, bad metaphor, but I mean, he's just finding a way in. You're like, where did it even come from? Where? There's so many angles. And this map especially, because it's so spread out with all these different angles, it's so good for Dark and his ability to just throw down these Nidus Worms, throw in these drops. And I love the way he's mixing it in. Drops have always been one of the most underused ways of getting in and actually causing a lot of issues, man. Lingbane's going to find the bottom right. Dude, Clem, he needs this income. He does need this income. Losing these planetaries is a problem. That one's going to go down. Hydras in the middle do get sniped. Parasitic Bomb on the lib does fantastic damage. 1 Infestor, 2 Vipers, Mass Hydraling Bane. I don't think these Banelings are going to be very efficient, though. There's not many SCVs for them to connect with. So unless they can find... That was actually the best play. Clem was not expecting it, but they were just going to die otherwise and kill like 3 SCVs, so he just clicks on the orbital, and that's really annoying. Now, you might be thinking, is that cost efficient? Directly, no. But remember, orbitals take forever to build. You got to build one, takes like 70 seconds, then you have to upgrade it for another 35 seconds. It takes minutes of attention. Oh my god! The wombo combo! He just landed a fungal parasitic bomb combo. Got like 2 to 3 medevacs. The rest are in the deep red and orange. And we have noticed something. We were talking about this earlier today. Clem does not repair medevacs normally. In this case, he's realized, I need to repair medevacs. He sent a bunch of the boys to drill those back to full hit points. Thank the lords. If he didn't do that, the next parasitic bomb was going to find Value Town. Units lost have 14,000 resources in favor of Clem. Clem is miles ahead in this game, but he's not securing the front because you think that would secure the backside, right? You'd think a pack of Marines. No, dude, you need 3 full bunkers because the Lings just drop on top. These are 3 Adrenal Zerglings. They rip Marines to shreds. Oh no, when he sends an undefended set of SCVs to the bottom right, he loses an entire mineral line. Oh no, Dark has found the damage. Dark has just butchered his economy and his production. Clem is now in trouble. He's gone from out trading Dark to actually being in dire straits. Because if Dark can mine the middle bases, which he's mining that left side, he might be able to win. If he keeps denying this, he's been very slow to take the right side base. He still hasn't fully saturated the left and taken the gases. These are both big mistakes, I would argue. But you know what? He's just everywhere. He is everywhere. Shades of Dark versus Maru on Neo-Humanity from Masters Coliseum. I know that's an online tournament, not a big LAN. A lot of people forgot it happened. Go back and watch Dark versus Maru on Neo-Humanity and watch Dark hit Maru in 17 angles simultaneously and Maru just unable to keep up. This is that game. This is that game again. This is exactly what Dark's specialty is. You give Dark momentum, he has a fat smile on his face. He is flowing into every single opening. And look at this, burrowed banelings. Oh, please resaturate this mineral line. Thank you very much. Get wrecked. And then he reburrows them again. He's going to do it again on the mules that just dropped. Clem watches. He drops 5 mules and the banelings instantly kill them. I mean, don't get me wrong. That doesn't cost money for Clem, but it costs him momentum. Speaking of momentum, he just lost his bloody starport, mate. Dark is all over it right now. Clem is on the defense. And I got to tell you, the psychological damage is real. Remember what we said at the start of this series? Clem does not like defending. What was Clem's answer to Dark being aggressive? I'll be more aggressive. He doesn't want to be here. He hates sitting in the corner. Much like Raynor hates playing late game, Clem does not like being on the defensive. Especially not against a guy who's attacking you from this many angles. He's trying to hang on. If Clem can recover from here, I will be very impressed. Remember, he's still out trading Dark. He's still 15,000 resources and the units lost, but he's going to lose the middle. He's only got a few tanks and a lib there. He does bring it back a bio forward. The planetary will go down. Dark takes out the planetary and disengages. Good choice. You don't want to go too deep. That was an expensive move for Dark. That may have been too costly. Link's coming in on the third base right now. Going after the orbital. That could be big. He loses his hatchery on the right side. That's very important that Clem's denied that. That slowed down his mining. Clem, though, does not lift the command center. Oh, no, he loses it. He's chasing into the middle right now. He's so eager. Remember what I said? Clem does not like defending. So what's his answer? He loses a planetary. He immediately counterattacks. And oh, my lord, the killing fields. Oh my lord, so many Hydras just went down. Was that worth it though? He lost a lot of ghosts, he lost a lot of bio, he's counterattacking the bottom right. Clem is done with defending. Screw this. The Marines in the top right doing well, but they're going to get held off. They will get held off. Only one medevac gets out. The full base on the left is still mining. 13 workers there. Dark does need to transform more, but he's got a few mineral patches there, a few mineral patches here, and here. So he's got a bunch of half bases and that full base on the left side doing well. Clem right now is down to the dregs. 800 minerals a minute. It's an orbital in the bottom right, and he's not being able to stabilize. The Ling drops and the Niduses. Dark utilizing the advantages of Amphion. Remember what I said at the start of this? This is Dark's map. I don't know why he waited to play this in Game 5. Dark has won this map every single Zerg vs. Terran I've watched him play in the last 2 months, and he waits to play it on Game 5. He picks Dynasty or Site Delta over this because the man's a psychopath. He said, I wanted to make it close. I wanted to let Clem win 2 maps so you guys thought I was washed. But you know what's washed? My baby's bottom with the high-quality shampoo and soap that I will be buying. I'm going to get some of that Johnson's No Tears stuff because I can afford it, because even though I'm an old man who just had a kid and I'm about to get forced into the military service for my mandatory military, I'm still providing for my family, winning tournaments on the weekly. I might be a new dad who doesn't get to sleep. Who needs to sleep to win StarCraft tournaments? Not me. My name is Dark, and I'm a friggin' beast. He is flowing in from every single side. Clem cannot hold. There is just too much Zerg. His production in the main is getting evicted by lurkers. He keeps on having to lift this middle base. Don't get me wrong, Dark doesn't have an endless bank to draw on, but Dark's ahead in the supply. Clem needs heroic defensive micro to get out of here. The Banelings getting on top of the Marines. The Marine micro was insane there. The tank goes down the orbital. If the orbital dies, he's dead. But you know what? Dark just spent a lot of units, and he's losing lurkers in the main to the ghost. Uh-oh, is Dark going too hard? Dark might be going too hard. Units lost. Let's look at the income. Income. Oh my god, Clem just has no money. Dark knows he's got the income. He knows if he denies this base, it's game over. And Dark absolutely channeling that dad power and saying, get out of here, kid. Get out of here. Massive reversal. Crazy last game. And hats off to the Ling drops, the Lurker drops, the dropping on his face. There are so many times where I was like, dude, he's got 4 turrets and 2 ghosts in the main. You can't drop on that. What did Dark say? Do I look like a coward pig? You think I'm not going to drop on him? Do I look like a friggin' coward? Bro, I'm just going to drop on his face. The number of times he just said, I'm going to attack the far right and the far left. I mean, it's classic Zerg strategy. My army's less efficient, but it's more mobile. I'm going to keep you pinned. I'm going to take more bases. And I'm going to keep attacking the extreme flanks and punching holes in your defenses. And that's going to allow me to get some amazing trades in the long run. And you could see the way he did it here. I think it was like, what, 16 minutes? Yeah, it was like 16, 17 minutes is when he starts busting through that main. And and he just utilized that over and over. And the thing is, I love this tank on the high ground. I think it's so hard to attack in this corridor. But the moment Dark took out that tank with Hydras, we saw the weakness of this base. It's too far away. And in fact, perhaps Clem's 5th base should have been here. I think Clem's 5th base should have been here. I think it's more central. And I think his army can kind of like, he can have units that are here, kind of defending the right and the left at the same time. And it's not as far from his main. But I think this bottom right base might actually be a mistake on this map. This is just me theory crafting. You guys let me know, theory craft along with me in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong on this. But this is just so cool because it kind of felt like Clem couldn't stop what Dark was doing. Like, he's just like, okay, I denied Unitas. I think we're good. We got turrets and ghosts here. Like, we're fine. And then Dark's just like, hello, good sir. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, the Lurker drop? And he just drops Lurkers on top. Same time, busts the bottom right. Remember, the Hydras killed that tank on the high ground. And Clem's like, whole army's there. So he's like, ah, crap. And he just runs away, which is fantastically well done. And adds a Nidus so we can reposition army. And this just, does it get cleaned up efficiently? Yeah. I think it probably does by Clem in the long run, but you're losing production, which takes a ton of APM to rebuild, a ton of actions to add those add-ons, re-hotkey everything. These units chase into the Baneling Hydra on the right. And from here, it wasn't just that. Remember, he Ling dropped on top of Marauders multiple times. He just kept on using Burrow. He used this little angle here because he knew the tanks at the front and the units in the main weren't covering. So he used that as like a third drop angle to get in the main and natural. This was just an excellent series for Dark. And what a well-matched one as well. Really well played by both players. GG, well played, Dark. Well-deserved KSL 55 champion.